Kansas Helen here. We have today Miranda Bachman, who's running in Kansas House District 69, which is in what area?
So basically, kind of southwest Salina, it cuts in the middle along Santa Fe, but then it goes out to Bridgeport, which is Lindsborg area, and then up to towards Brookville out west. So it kind of dips along the way there, along that, what is that, 140 over there?
Yeah.
So yeah, so
It's
it
like,
kind of covers some little townships like Washington and Kip and Fallon is out there. So
yeah.
yeah, a few different little areas.
The majority of your voters are in Salina, though, right? The majority of the district. I can't.
Yeah, so I would say the majority of the district is in Salina, but as far as people who show up to vote, a lot of those smaller areas are really populated.
Oh, so the voter turnout is better outside.
Yeah, with those smaller populations, they have almost 90 to 100% voter turnout versus here in town where you're lucky to get 50% voter turnout.
Wow. I haven't looked at those kind of numbers.
It's interesting. I have a guy that does maps and he really
Yeah.
broke it down for me very well.
Yeah, I've broken down the couple districts that I'm involved in their campaign. Obviously, I can't break all that. I would love to break all the data down for every single district in the entire
Mhm.
state, but I'm just one person. Maybe in the winter when I'm bored and
In
between
between things.
between things, but that just depends on if one or both of my candidates win in November, then I'm gonna have to spend all winter just getting ready for them to hit the ground running in Topeka, whatever
Yeah,
that means.
yeah.
I don't even know
That's
what
a
that would
different ballgame.
entail. But I'm by November I will hopefully have an understanding of what that means to hit the ground running in Topeka.
Sure.
But and then okay, so the first question I like to ask all candidates is, do you know what it's like to not have one more penny?
Yes. I know what it's like to be negative 200 pennies. Yes. Yeah, I do. I know what it's like, and I know a lot of people in my district that know what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually lived in Salina in the mid 2000, like 2004 for 9
Hmm.
months. I worked third shift at the IHOP.
Oh, which
Um,
one? The one on like on the interstate?
no, the other one.
Okay.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. Atlanta is a great place, but it can be very interesting sometimes.
Why are you running for Kansas House?
So I've grown up in this district. I've lived here my whole life. I'm a single mom, worked as a CNA, and I've done community work around in Salina for the last about 7 years. And so I just kind of thought it was time to start asking bigger questions and start maybe showing by example and taking some of those lived experiences to legislation. So a
When,
lot of it was just, I think it's just time for a different change here in Salina and surrounding areas.
yeah, and when you decided to run, you didn't know you'd be in a primary.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was talk about it, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and file, and we'll see what happens. And if there's a primary, great. I think it just helps further the message of Salina, Kansas is fed up, and two women, Democratic women in the primary is chef's kiss for me.
Yeah, no, that is too. I think that it shows Salina that there are Democrats that are interested in leading in the area now, where maybe there
Yeah.
have been in the past. I can't remember
Mhm.
your election history, sorry, off the top of my head, if this rate, what the contested rate of 69 is. Has it
So
gone?
there have been a few contested runners. Yeah, there have been a few, but Clark Sanders has been there for 15 years now.
And then the ones that ran against him, I imagine, were middle of the road.
Yeah. One of them most recently is now running as a Republican for the county commission. And not saying that you have to here in Salina, but that's how that goes.
Yeah, no, that would make sense. And I've talked to somebody that's running as a Republican. He wasn't a Democrat ever, but he was a Republican. Then he went Libertarian. So he went back to Republican to kind of, because when the Tea Party took over the Republican Party, some of the Republican Party left and went unaffiliated or Libertarian or whatever, because they did not like
Mhm.
the direction. They saw where it was going and they saw what to where it is now. So they got out a long time ago. And then
Mhm.
some of them were after, I think January 6th was I've talked to a lot of Republicans that was the end of, they were always holding their nose to vote for him. in the first place, that was the end of them. They
That
were
was
no
that.
longer,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
line that was crossed too far, and they could not vote for him anymore. And so,
Mhm.
and I was talking to somebody the other day, and I know what it's like to hold my nose and vote for somebody.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
And so I
Insert
feel,
Biden. No.
yeah, uh, insert everyone since Obama. The only
Right.
people, the only people at the federal level that I've ever, because I've mostly lived in Kansas, and so I haven't had options. So the only Democrats that I've ever been able to vote for really that I was just, yes, was Obama and Bernie. The rest
Oh
of
sure.
I have, well,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
voted for Jo Jorgensen a while back. She's like an independent. I don't know if it's Green Party or whatever, but I did
uh-huh.
vote for her one time instead of Biden.
Oh yeah.
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 But
No, Biden, I
what
was too
can you
scared to with Bernie back in the when Hillary, I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. I wrote in Daisy Duck. And
do?
anytime there is a race that I do not have someone to vote for, I write in Daisy Duck because there's a lot of uncontested, like Sedgwick County commissioner races and stuff. And so I write in Daisy Duck. I'd rather do that than vote for somebody that I don't believe in. And so
Yeah.
I refuse to hold my nose and ever vote again, but I'm still going to vote. I'm still going to show up. I'm not going to ignore the election. And if there's nobody on the ballot, I'm going to write in Daisy Duck. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that there are people that no longer, I'm hoping that there are enough of them that no longer care to do that, that we can at least, even in the districts where we can't flip it, there are much more reasonable Republicans that we can actually work with
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
legislature. And that's really
Yeah.
all. I just want some balance. I don't think it's extreme to want some balance in the legislature. I don't think either party should be dominating the other.
Yeah, no. Issues like healthcare, childcare, those aren't supposed to be like partisan issues. You're supposed to be able to kind of figure out how to work together and get it done.
Yeah, I think people are getting tired of seeing them not actually work on any real problems. When Ann Perelcar was, I went up there to meet her when she did her official signing at the Secretary of State. I actually live in Topeka. People don't know where I live. I live in Topeka, technically. That's where I'm registered to vote. I'm just in Wichita half the time. And that's
Oh,
where
I
I'm
see.
from. And I haven't been in
Uh-huh.
Topeka long, but I ran down
Uh-huh.
there to meet her and stuff. And there was a guy there who's running against in District 1, Tracy Mann in the US House,
Oh, yeah.
District 1, who's a Republican who's primarying him. And he said things like bodily autonomy. And he was an old white guy from Western Kansas talking about how he thinks that we voted on abortion and they need to leave it alone and women are dying and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, you're
Hold
out
on a second.
west.
Yeah.
I know it.
Yeah.
And so,
Some of my favorite like unaffiliated people to talk to because I don't know. I think, and I sound cheesy even saying this, but people really do have a lot more in common than they have differences, I think. And it's just really important to find that and just figure out how you can, like I said, get things done.
yeah, I think that people, this last session made it very apparent that the people in power in Topeka are not doing what they need to do with that power because they could literally pass anything they wanted. And then they're still going to come tell us they couldn't get property tax. They couldn't solve any of these problems and that they need to take Kansas. And the problem is that they need to take Kansas back. And nobody's buying it. It's like we all know you have the supermajority in both houses.
Take it back from who? Because you have it. You want to take it back to the 1940s is what you want to do.
Because the bathroom bills prove it. They can't go anything, but the bathroom bills aren't going to pass the Supreme Court. So now they need to go get that. And it's just the people voted on this. And then there's people saying they were duped. There was a guy in the comment section trying to say that the only reason that it passed in 2022 is because the Democrats lied and spread misinformation. And I'm like, okay, so on one hand, the voting public is so easily duped because I wasn't here, so I pulled it up to see exactly what the language on the thing you're voting on says. And it seemed pretty clear to me what you were deciding. And he said, yeah, but they made it say that if you voted yes, you were voting to ban abortion. And I said, because we all knew that if it passed in the very next session, they would have banned abortion. That's not a lie, right? And people, so you're saying either the voting public is so easily duped by words that come out of Democrats' mouths that aren't even in the power and control, and they don't just believe what they're reading, or they're smart enough to be able to elect a Supreme Court justice. It cannot be both.
It cannot be both.
If you can't trust the populace to vote on abortion correctly, how can you trust the populace to vote on a Supreme Court justice?
Yeah.
So it's like you just can't have it both ways. It's one or the other.
Yeah, either way, it's going to vote like it's going to come down to voting suppression, and somebody's trying to not get you to vote.
Yeah. I ultimately believe that I trust the people of Kansas to know about one topic, like abortion or whatever.
And educate yourself enough to know about it. I trust people to do that much.
But I do not trust the voting populace to pick a Supreme Court justice, because I wouldn't even know where to begin to educate myself to know if they were a good Supreme Court justice or not. And I am a highly intelligent, educated person
who likes to research anyway.
When the average is 8th grade, it's not hard to be higher. But I'm just saying, yeah, I wouldn't want to pick Supreme Court justices. I wouldn't even know where to begin to know if they were a good one. And I'm certainly not just going to believe whatever is told to me. How can you self-educate on that? You'd have to learn law. I don't know. So
no, there's no way.
I think the system we have now works just fine. I think the people do get a voice.
Yeah. And I've heard them say that this leads directly into abortion bans. So I don't need them to bat around now. I already know.
That's exactly what the guy was saying in the comments, and why I posted his comments. I'm like, this guy understands the Republican Party's agenda. He knows Supreme Court justices are going to lead to them banning abortion.
Yeah.
And then he wants to act like that's not what he just said. I'm like, you literally just said you're trying to ban abortion.
You literally said that, and we all know what's going on.
They want to ban abortion. They want to legislate trans people out of existence in society, at least to where you get to see them around and them just be openly who they are. And for what? You know what I mean? Does that even help with all the problems? People are just trying to survive right now. And I think it's back. I'm hoping. I think the August 4th vote is going to be this primary is really going to give us an indication. If that fails and fails miserably, which I hope it does, then that's going to be a real wake up call and to the Republican Party here, because I don't know what they're going to do, because this entire time, Ty Masterson and all of them are take back Kansas. And if that fails, it's going to be yet another proof that Kansas doesn't want them.
That we're done with you. We are fed up. Yes.
Your tactics are not working.
The vote no thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to say that another perk of having 2 women in the Democratic primary is at least I've been hitting that vote no so hard. I don't even care. I mean, I care if you vote for me, but vote no. Just go vote. Like, how about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too, is like, and that's what Caden's saying too, because unaffiliated people need to go vote no. And that's the misinformation out there, is that sometimes unaffiliated people don't know that they still need to go vote on that one thing. You can, and anybody, if there's nobody you want to vote for in August, just go in, vote now, and leave.
Right. Write in Daisy Duck.
Write in Daisy Duck on the rest.
I don't care.
But vote no on that amendment. We're talking about a constitutional amendment that once it passed and in, it's going to be very hard to get out. And they will immediately next year implement, which means I assume that all the justices we have now will go up for election next year.
That's kind of what I would assume too. Yeah, I thought about that too. You would just have to reelect them or whatever. But again, how do you even know how to elect a judge? That's not, no.
Yeah, they're on the retention thing and stuff, but I always just vote not to retain.
Unless I recognize one of their names, absolutely. Yeah.
I never recognize any of their names. They always get retained though. So if people are so upset with all these judges, why are they being retained over again?
Over and over again.
Most of the time, from what I've seen in the voting history that I've looked at for my couple districts, people aren't even voting on them. They just skip
they skip it. Yeah.
They just vote president and get out of there in a president year a lot. They don't, and the judges are the bottom of the ballot. People are just not even paying any attention to it. Are people even aware they can vote their judges in or out? I think we're doing a lot of education at this point too, because there's so many people that don't know how the process even works, right?
And that's just one of my main goals is just getting the community involved. I have more selfish reasons as far as wanting my community involved with things. One day I would like for our city commission to be broken up into wards. And so for this whole campaign, this whole next 2 years, I really just want to get people involved in local politics
Yeah,
because that's where their vote matters. People tell me all the time that my vote doesn't matter, nobody represents me. And it's because you're not fucking voting. Can I drop
yeah.
the F-bomb?
I don't
Because
care.
yeah, if you elect me as your 69th district representative, guess who's going to represent you? You know what I mean? So it's just, you have to vote.
Yeah, I think that I've been yelling this forever. That then this is how I ended up involved with looking at state politics. Is last year I've always cared about local politics and stuff and state politics, but certainly not to the degree I am
Right.
now, right? And
Right.
so last year I was just so overwhelmed with everything that was happening at the federal level. And everyone was going out and protesting and stuff. And I'm like, but they
Yeah.
can't hear you. But and then thousands of people protested in downtown Wichita. And I was like, can you imagine if thousands of people, 5,000 people protested in downtown Wichita against the city for something?
Yeah. Why are we not? Yeah.
And but they can hear you. The mayor
Mhm.
can hear you. The mayor knows who
Yeah.
I am. I made a lot of progress and a lot of influence in Wichita just from sitting on my phone on social media. I didn't even have to
Oh,
be
yeah.
there. So
Hmm.
it's real easy to make a wave. It's real easy to get people's attention, and they will hear you. And the federal government can't hear us. The state government, even at a certain level, isn't going to hear us.
Or care for that matter.
Yeah, and so,
Yeah.
but your mayor lives there. You can see
Right.
your mayor at the grocery store and be like, "Hey,
You suck.
you suck," or whatever. A
Or I
little
love you.
nicer.
Yeah. Yeah, no, all the commissioners know who, between the two organizations, between protesting and our nonprofit, they all love to see me coming because they're going to be like, oh, here comes Miranda. What is
Yeah,
she
yeah.
upset about?
That's
Yeah.
how I hope every time that there is a police shooting in Wichita, the first person that they think, oh God, what's Helen gonna
Here
say?
comes Helen.
Here
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
Helen.
That's exactly. Yep. I do too. I hope they tighten every time they think of me.
And their little buttholes just like when they think of my oh God, here
Right.
she
The
comes.
mayor's, oh, here comes Miranda. Yeah.
Yeah, when they see my name on the speakers list, I want them to they definitely will. I That's another reason I had to run out of theirs because I want the opportunity to talk in front of them again. And if I go too hard,
I get banned.
if I get walked out of there by police, there I'll never get to talk in front of them again.
Thankfully, I'm surrounded by people that are a little bit more articulate than I am, and I'm like, you go talk, you go talk, you tell them what we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think that when you're in there talking about emotional things, you want to be able to sound emotional and passionate, but you just can't cry. So if you're like, I know so many people that when they get mad, they cry.
Yeah,
And so you can't cry
yeah, or throw f bombs because I'm gonna throw
or
f bombs
cuss.
and
Oh God, that
yeah.
was, it
Oh
is so
gosh.
hard not to cuss. So hard not to cuss. I'm
It
such a
is,
cusser.
yeah. And
Um,
our commission can't talk back to you. They're not really supposed to engage when you go to a public meeting. And so I don't know, that evens me even more. So
well,
I'm
the
really
city
getting that.
council doesn't have to, and oftentimes they don't. And right before I went up, the legal lady, the person that's head of their legal,
Is
reminded
that
them not to
Lily?
respond to me, reminded them not to say anything about an ongoing case.
Mm-hmm.
Or she reminded them that they had been advised to, because
Mm-hmm.
technically they can. And they say they can't, but they can, they choose not to. And so
They choose not to.
that end of my speech was telling them that I know that you still have your First Amendment right and that you're
Right.
not under any sort of non-disclosure agreement and that you can
Mhm.
speak about anything and everything that you want and you're choosing not to
Right.
protect your political career. Period.
That's all it is.
That's all.
Period.
Or they truly, I was speaking to maybe two of them at that point. The rest of them, three of them, the other four of them, I wasn't even talking to them because they're not, they would never speak out against the police ever. They love the police. So they would never even criticize them. They give the police whatever they want.
Oh, yeah.
But they're all up for election next year. The mayor and the three city council people that are, whenever there's a 4-3 vote, that are holding us
Oh,
back.
good.
We just need
Well,
one
I better
change.
see some people running.
We just need one to change. People are like, why don't you go back and run? Because it's a full-time job. I can't work full-time like that for other people.
Yeah.
I'll have a mental
Yeah.
breakdown. I'll have a mental breakdown if I tried to do that. I can't. Just because I know a lot of stuff doesn't mean I have the right temperament to run for office.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Which time are you ready for all this?
Yeah, no, that's how I'm like, somebody else is gonna have to run for the city commission.
Yeah. It's just too easy to be too much at the city level. I think the state level could handle me, but it's too easy to be too much at the city level. And
Yeah.
I'm a lot.
I also don't think that you get anything more by asking for less. You know what I mean? You're never gonna get more by getting less. So if you want
Yeah.
more, you better do it.
That's negotiation. You ask for everything you want so that you have to work down from the dream, from the pie in the sky.
Exactly it.
Your ultimate goal is this. This
Mhm.
is what you would love to have. This is what you realistically need. This is what they're
Mhm.
going to offer.
And
This
this
is
is what
what
I'm
you
not willing to
offer.
settle for.
You try to work to the middle. And
Mhm.
they're starting down here. I can't
Right.
meet them in the middle when they're in hell.
That this is me trying to get a grocery store out by Brookville.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to live in Halstead and there was no real grocery store. We had to drive to Newton, which was 30 minutes down the way.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah.
Dollar General.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think so.
man,
Mm-mm. No,
nothing.
Brookville doesn't have anything. And honestly, I don't really know the statistics, but all those kids out there are on free or reduced lunches. Not all of them, but a lot of them out there at El
Yeah,
Saline.
yeah. Just like if you run out of milk and you need something in the middle of the night, or
Yeah.
your baby needs Tylenol or something, you can't just run
Hmm.
out in the middle of the night to go grab a new thermometer or all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah. The seniors that can't drive 30 miles to get groceries. Anyway.
So, so you weren't preparing for a primary, so you probably don't have a I'm curious, like, why should people vote for you in August versus your opponent?
Oh, I think that it's still easy for me to answer, even though I wasn't necessarily prepared for a primary, just because I think that organizers belong in politics. And I think that would be an easy in for me because I think that I'm used to what I do. I solve problems. Even sometimes they're temporary and you build on them. And so I think that is my biggest difference right there is that I'm in my community every day. So
And
I
you
see the
and you have a
problems.
nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
Called?
Yeah. Kansas Impact Coalition. So I'm the president of it for now. We'll see how long until that becomes like a real conflict of interest. But yeah. And our main thing is like accessibility. And so any way that someone's having trouble with healthcare, getting any kind of food accessibility. So we have community fridges. We've worked with Salina Family Healthcare has a mobile unit. We worked with them before. And so it's accessibility and filling the gaps. Salina has a lot of nonprofits, but there seems to be a lot of gaps still.
Yeah, the nonprofits that I have ran into versus like they're not nonprofits, they are
I don't know. Like businesses, like a
no, they're not
501c4 is,
businesses. They are
uh,
nonprofits, but they're not called mutual aid. My God.
oh, mutual aid. Yeah. That's really more what we do is a lot of
Yeah,
mutual aid.
because the main difference, and a lot of people don't know, is that there's no barriers to the mutual aid. You say, I'm
Right.
hungry, we give you food. You don't
Right.
say, I'm hungry, and you say, give me 2 paycheck stubs and prove to me
Right.
you couldn't have bought your own food.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, we would never do that. We never ask for any kind of proof of income or anything like that. No.
Yeah. And that's what
So,
Liberation Place, Ice Stuff, they have clothes and diapers and all sorts of things that people donate to them and they just give them away. And the people are like, how do you know they're not taking that car seat and selling it or something like that? And they're like, we don't.
yeah. And I
And
don't care. I don't care. I
that's
don't.
on them.
Yeah, it's on them.
And we know that's not the majority of what people are doing here. We know that. And the thing about nonprofits is when they have to basically prove somehow that they're helping people. And so a
Hmm.
lot of times you don't just get the help, you get the help and then they want to track you. You get the help and
Hmm.
they want you to fill out they want to get data and stuff from information from you so that they can use that on their grant reports to say we help this many people and all this other
Right.
stuff. And so you can't just go in, get your help and leave and go on with your
Right.
life. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's a
I quit
barrier.
applying for grants because of that, because we just don't do grants. Everything we do is all private donations, crowdfunding, whatever, just because of that right there. We don't have restrictions on anything, so we can't really get grants.
Yeah, the majority of the grants that come from the government, especially if they're not coming from private foundations or anything like that, the ones that come from the government at
Hmm.
every level have so many stipulations of how you have to run the program. It almost ends up making your nonprofit just an arm of the government
Yeah.
because you're
Yeah.
running every program the way the government just told you to.
Yeah. And yeah, and a lot of them here are really religious based. And so
Yeah,
we
that too.
obviously don't do any of that at all. We offer Plan B, we have Narcan testing strips, we offer power of attorney papers to transgender people. And I could go on for days about all the gaps and different things that people don't do here.
Yeah, I
So,
know that when I've been in positions in my life where I had to go to food banks and stuff, they were all just, and I am not religious, but I had to sit there and let them pray with me so that I could leave
yeah.
with my food.
So that you could, or yeah, or even just eating a dinner, have to sit for the church service or whatever. No.
There's always a price, there's always a string.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you're offering prayer over here, if you need prayer, come see those people over there. If you'd like prayer, that's different. It'd be like every time I went in to get my food, before I could, they would have my bags. And it was a requirement that we pray together over the food first. Like
Really.
leave with my food. I had to pray and hold their
You had to
hands
pray over it.
and pray with them and touch some strange old lady's clammy hands. Feed my
Yeah.
children, so I did it. And so I don't think that should be a thing. And
Yeah.
so even if that was the only barrier, it's still a barrier for some people, especially people that may have religious trauma
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
that can't even step into a church. A church, I know people triggers them because of things that happen
Yeah.
to them in churches. And so I just think if
Hmm.
you need food, you should be able to just get it.
Just get food. Yeah.
You
We
know,
have 3 fridges around town that people can just take donations to, and you can just take them out. No questions asked.
yeah. I really want to start something in the front of my house because there's a lot of kids that run around here. There's a whole bunch of kids in this neighborhood. And
It's
they're,
been really cool watching what they inspire around town, because some of those have been popping up, and in some of the smaller towns around us, they're calling, asking how they can do a fridge. And so it's kind of
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, we have a huge front yard, so we could have a fridge right down there and they wouldn't even have to get near our house. Because
Uh,
it's like a big area, then it goes up and there's another big area and then there's our house. And there's a huge area in the front. I would love to start a community garden, but none of us actually do gardening. You could
yeah,
buy all the stuff for it, but I need other
you're right.
people that are going to actually go out there and do it,
Right.
me.
Yeah.
And it ain't them.
The DSA here in town started a community garden, and they donate to our fridges sometimes. So that's cool.
Yeah, we have a huge plot in our front yard that could easily be a community garden.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
It would be fun. Yeah, so you're already involved in the community. That's your
Yeah.
that's your
And I'll
thing.
continue to be, like, win or lose. This isn't something that is going to change any of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they're independent of each other. You didn't start a nonprofit because you wanted to run for office and make community
yeah.
connections. It's just all
Yeah.
worked out.
No.
I do feel there are some organizers in the state that have organized for that purpose.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
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 And you can tell that once they start.
Yeah, no. 2 years
Right.
ago, when we started Committed Kansas Activists, if you would have told me that I was going to be running for office, I would have thought you were crazy. Like,
Yeah. I think more activists do need to get into politics and more community organizers, like you were saying. I think it does prepare them really well, especially for local office or Kansas House, especially and down the ballot, because you've already dealt with all these different people in their community. And I'm assuming you're not asking people who they voted for before you feed them.
yeah, no. And
And
nobody asks me, are you a Democratic Socialist, before they take a gallon of milk? That's not happening.
yeah. And so they're like, never mind, I don't want your milk. And you're not like, you starve then, you MAGA.
I'm
No,
gonna give
and
it to you anyways. I'm a socialist. No, I'm
take
just
it. Drink the milk. Just force feed him healthy food. No, you will eat. But yeah, you'll drink my commie milk. No.
yeah, you'll love it. That's funny.
I think that if nothing else, someone like you going into the Kansas House would at least make the videos I have to watch a little more interesting.
Yeah, they might make it spicy. I don't have a problem getting in there, that's for sure.
There's a rep, Stephanie, and I never can remember her stinking last name. I'm so sorry again. But she is out in like around Olathe. Stephanie Clayton Holland. And she's introduced a bill 4 different times to the committee to try to ban child marriage, and it's never been heard. And one time they did talk about it for a minute, but the other 3 times it just dies. It never goes anywhere. But she always says the best things when she gets up to talk in the chamber. I love how she talks to people.
I love that.
And I don't remember exactly what she said, but during the debate over the trans bathroom bill, she basically was like, I'm not scared of trans women. I'm scared of men. My friends are scared of men.
But yeah,
my daughter, I'm scared of men for my daughter. And it was good. And she says it with enough attitude that you get it, but not enough to be like, she's not yelling or showing rage or anything, not like I would. Problem, right? Because I'll start shaking and be like, ah! And she says it with such passion and such anger, but just not enough. And I love it when she gets up there. I'm like, Stephanie.
That's what I like to do. Yeah.
And Abby Boatman, man, the video I shared of her speech during that. Granted, I sped it up a little because they talk real slow because they are trying to use all their time and just drag it out, right? But man, it was so good. It was so good. Like 30% of the people that watched that video watched all of it, and it's 7 minutes long, even with it shortened, which is crazy.
Oh, really?
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Because you can't stop watching it because it's so good. But yeah, I think that we need more people that are going to just get up there and just talk like people. And they're just so robotic. And so, because they're always thinking about the next election and all this other stuff. And they're just getting up there and doing whatever their party wants a lot of times too. You know what I'm saying? End up having these representatives up there just kind of saying the same things. And it's just mostly a bunch of white dudes up there just saying the same things.
Same thing. Yeah. I said in my first campaign speech to Indivisible was, oh shoot, now I just forgot my point. Oh crap. What were we just talking? Now I forgot it. Never mind. Move on.
I'll cut this out. We're talking about about talking like a normal human, speaking up, being able to speak out.
Okay. So I said that campaigns aren't for politicians. They were made for everyday people that are showing up for change. And hence why organizers belong in politics. Just they're looking for people, and change only happens when everybody decides that they're ready to show up for it.
Yeah, it used to be a long time ago.
That's where I was going.
When we first started the government here, there were little townships and little just areas where people had started farming communities, basically. And
so little territories.
So all the white male landowners got together, and then they all kind of, who should we send to represent us? And someone's, I think Ezekiel will be there, or whatever. And so and then he's, no, not me. And they're like, no, you're the one, go. And so he goes. And so I think that I love the thing that I've seen the most this year in Kansas House districts are everyday people that don't really want to do this. Do you know what I'm saying? They were never planning to do this. It's actually not something they had on a bucket list. It's certainly not something they're looking to do for the next 30 years. And that they just saw no one else stepping up.
Yeah, it was almost like a calling. I'm like, you're not running unopposed in my district. There's no way. That's exactly what I said. Like
nobody else is it? You want to do? No.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. And that's how I've done most of my life. Group projects in college, I was the one that ended up just doing all of it because there was always the people that would drop out of the cohort or not show up on that day with their stuff. I never trusted anybody to do their work.
I'm okay following as long as I have good leadership. But if nobody is there to lead me, I'm going to take that role.
And it's very rare that there's someone that'll lead me. You go to your little class and you sit together and everyone just sits there and you just wait for someone to talk.
And you're like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Yeah.
And then I jump in and I talk first, which makes me the leader. And yeah, they all just stand there and literally look around at each other. Okay, who's going to get this going?
Right.
And then there's been one time in my life where there was this young lady who jumped in first. And I was like,
it's my girl. Yeah.
Get it. I'll do my part, don't
Mhm.
you worry. But one group project my entire college career that I didn't end up being the one. And I
Yeah.
don't want to be the one, but somebody has to do it currently. I feel like if we were to educate and have a complete societal shift, people would need less leadership. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I feel like the people, at least in Wichita, I don't know, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's a Kansas thing or a Wichita thing, they desperately want to be led.
Sure.
They desperately
Yeah.
want to pick someone and get behind. And
Hmm.
they're yeah. Um,
Yeah. They're just looking for someone that looks like them, though, I think is the problem.
yeah. 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 It's who
But
would
I
you
hope
need?
so. I think that Salina, especially in these smaller areas, I think that they really are just looking for someone that is really just wanting to let them have a better life. I mean, there's no reason that we should have so much wealth inequality and people just aren't on the same fields as far as childcare. And I think they're just really looking for that.
I think when you have an incumbent like yours, who's older, who has been in there for so long, they're no longer in touch with what it's like to be an everyday person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they don't have children in school anymore. They've been in Topeka so long that they're just playing the game.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I think there needs to be term limits. A lot of the Kansas House people I've talked to have said, yeah, I have no desire to do this forever.
No, please. God, no. If I'm here for 15 years, kick me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you
So,
shouldn't be doing it. You should want more out of your career, out of your community. You know what I mean? You should want to pass the torch to someone that has bigger, better ideas than you. Like,
yeah. And that, yeah, you should get out and then help the next person. You should get out
right.
and then while you're in there, actively be thinking about building the foundation for the next person. And so, or
Yeah.
seeking them out. And then what I would do if I ever got in is I would get in and then immediately always be looking for my replacement. And then
Yeah.
if I found somebody that I felt could lead better than me in my area, talk them into taking it, tell them I'll support them and get out.
And get out. Yeah. I want my baby Yoda. Please take this to the next
Yeah.
generation or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, but I think that's why Clark Sanders supports private schools and voted to give, what was it, $10 million to private schools instead of creating pathways for special needs childcare. Or he's just completely out of touch.
Are there even any private schools in your district?
There are a couple.
Yeah, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot, Kate is, there's no private schools in a lot of the districts. And so it's like, why should I care about private schools? But I know that I don't know anybody that could afford privates that would send their kid to private school, even if they could afford it.
And honestly, some of them here aren't bad. My child is converting to Catholicism and wants to go to a Catholic school here. And thankfully, they offer decent scholarships, and we're poor enough that we qualify for them. But they're not so bad as they sound. But it's still, I think it was like $300 for the quarter or whatever is what we have to pay.
The main problem with giving our tax dollars to private schools is that private schools are not required to accept everybody. And
Right.
so that's if private schools were kept to the same standards as public schools in just who they could accept and who they couldn't, then it would be different. But they're not held to the same academic standards. They're not regulated the
No.
way public schools are. They're not,
Mhm.
they don't have to teach the same things. And if they're doing better at educating people, it's not because public schools suck. It's
Mhm.
because they're allowed to teach their students the way their students need to be taught, not the way the state or the federal government tell them to.
Yeah, and they don't have all those crazy the standard tests or all the stuff that they have to do.
Yeah. So that's my argument. They educate kids better. And yeah, it's because they have less government oversight. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I think that historically, I know Democrats are like all about regulations, whereas Republicans aren't. But then it's so crazy to me that they want to things are just flipped. Things are just upside down right now. And
Yeah.
I think that there's no way that one way can be the right way for every school district to teach their children, for every school district to have the same schedule. I just think that there's so each little community and the kind of people that gather there are so unique that there can't possibly be just the one way to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think,
And I think that applies to a lot of things in government. There's not just one way to do something. You have to start asking different questions.
yeah, that's what I like. When it comes to the money, I like more local control. To human rights, I like the big government to say nobody, because I think a human right, no matter what boundary you cross,
Right.
should
You're a
always
human.
be the same, right? So
Mhm.
to say that you can't discriminate against children based on this, that kind of law could come down from a higher up towards schools or things like that. But otherwise, they shouldn't be telling the schools how to spend their money. They shouldn't be telling the schools how to teach the children
Right.
and what curriculums to use. I think that there's too much being taken out from the educators. Like, how does a
Yeah.
school board? I was shocked the first time I learned that school boards were just elected officials.
And
I
why
thought
have a
they
school
worked their
board if
way
they're
up
not
to that.
able to actually do what they want to do, if they're just going to have all these federal,
Yeah.
regulations? Why
I
have it?
just, up until about 20 years ago, I assumed school boards were just people that worked their way up with inside the school district, right? And then I found out they're just like realtors and shit. Like,
Yeah, you have to run for it. Yeah.
like how do they get to tell schools what to do? They don't know anything
Hmm.
about like it's to be a teacher. Or there's no way I would want to vote somebody on a school board that didn't have a history, education, experience in education, right? Why does just somebody's grandma get to tell me what books my kids can read or not? She's somebody's grandma that's a realtor her whole life.
And they have party affiliations. Why do they have party affiliations if we're talking about education?
Yeah, it blows my mind that educators are just making the decisions for education.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And then
Let
they don't
alone
even
being
listen.
paid an actual decent wage.
And then they don't even listen. Everybody's school boards need to learn to. Schools get plenty of money. They don't spend it right. We should got to stop giving the administrators $350,000. Meanwhile, that was like one administrator in the biggest school district in the state. That's the administrator, the highest person in USD 259 deals with every day, all day, 24/7.
Could you imagine all those parents? Yeah.
I
All those
can't imagine
kids.
you even ever get a real vacation.
Yeah, no.
There's always something going on with every
Yeah. And
single
in the
school.
summer, they're still working.
Yes, so they got to deal. That's when they have to start coordinating all the maintenance of all the buildings and getting those 2 months are spent getting everything that they couldn't do during the school year done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And when you see some of these schools, like during the summer, all the construction and stuff that they have to do, moving rooms, how they get that done in 2 months and we can't build a road in 2 years is just amazing to me.
Yeah, I think we need more teachers to run for office. We need organizers to run for office, social workers to run for office, people like that have worked with a variety of people, because like social workers, therapists, things like that, they help everybody. They don't look at who they voted for or where they live or anything. You need help, I help you. And so activists do that. All these people do that. And I think that's the kind of people we need in government, because as somebody that's in that nonprofit, and I've been in the nonprofit world, I understand a lot of what you do is you just do things and then you learn along the way.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
and you don't always know how you're going to get something done, but you see a need that needs filled, and so you
Yeah.
start figuring out how to fill the need and learn along the way. And
Yeah. And then you do it better the next time, or you build on that idea, or yeah. Yeah, I think that's a lot of the times where, not just Democrats, but people get it wrong is you have something, quit building on it, or keep building on it. Don't quit building on it. They are just so used to like managing this that nobody solves the problem.
yeah, there's not a lot of long-term thinking. They're always thinking
Hmm.
about the next election,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're just not thinking.
Instead of showing up for the people the other 364 days of the year, and then they want them to be registered voters. And it's like nobody cares about registering to vote when you can't afford groceries.
Yeah, I can't afford the gas to get to the voting poll. What are you talking about?
Yeah, unlucky to get a day off of work to go vote,
I'm tired to and then to be able to actually learn about candidates and learn who to vote for. You really have the brain power after you just worked a 12-hour shift waiting tables, and then you went and picked your kids up from daycare, and then you got them home. You had to get them fed, you had to give them baths, and
Yeah.
now they're asleep. You think I really want to spend my time researching political candidates?
Yeah. Which, yeah. To me, I think that would be like the first successful term for me is just people knowing that I'm in their district, knowing who I am, that I'm coming to show up, that I'm going to go and show up in Topeka. I think that would be like a first successful, because I don't go in there expecting to get everything passed that I put up.
Yeah, that depends on a lot of stuff. And we're
Yeah.
still not going to have the Senate still going to have its supermajority, and it depends on who becomes governor. I do
Okay.
think I just don't I do have a lot of faith that we will at least break the supermajority in the House. We only need five to flip five seats. I think that's very doable of 103.
Yeah,
What good that's really going to do as far as getting anything done, I don't know, but I know it's going to do a lot of good at slowing some stuff down.
mhm,
And
I agree.
I think, kind of to your point of what you were saying, I think that once these people start being treated correctly by the representatives and understand there is a different way that representatives can talk to you, educate you, treat you in the non-session season, the other nine
Right.
months of the year,
Yeah.
that is then going to become, if we make that the norm, if we
Hmm.
make that's what's expected, we
Hmm.
have to get the populace to raise their expectations of what it means to be a Kansas House district person, because it's not a
Right.
very, it's a large area, but it's only 25,000 people, right?
Yeah.
But
No.
city
Yeah, it's
council
not
in
huge.
Wichita has got 55,000 people to deal with. Actually easier to run for House, Kansas House, than it is Wichita
Hmm.
City Council. You have fewer people. City councils all year long. It's not just a session or whatever. And you have the other 9 months of the year to continue doing all the stuff you're doing right now, going out, going to events, talking to people. A lot of the reps, what they do is in their off season is they go to chamber meetings and they go to
Hmm.
business meetings and
Sporting events.
yeah, and they go to all
Yeah.
these events where you have to pay to get time with them. Basically,
Hmm.
they're not
Hmm.
having town halls, they're not having
Right.
cookouts they're not doing community organization in their other 9 months.
Hmm.
I think is part of their job to educate,
Right.
organize the community.
It should be, and that's why nobody knows their name. I would like for somebody to say, "Oh, I know exactly who my representative is. Her name's Miranda. She was just here getting me food." I just want,
So have you
because you can ask people, "Do you know who your representative is?" No, they have no idea.
do you start have you started knocking doors and stuff yet?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
what are
I
you
hate
hearing?
Vote Builder.
I hate Vote Builder too. It's so archaic. There's got to
I
be a
hate
better
it.
way. There's got to
There
be a
has
better
to be a
way.
better way.
I have some videos that I made that are fairly crude that I sent to a candidate if you want them, of how I do it. But yeah,
That would be
um,
great. Because their
yeah,
tool guide list is not cutting it for me.
yeah. I think part of the problem with it is that it's too robust for a Kansas House. There's a lot in there. There's a lot.
Yeah, so
And
much. So
so,
then I do something and it gives me 50,000 numbers that it can't even display. So I'm
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of really good tools in there, but it maybe is a little much to just give a House member to begin with, and you don't really need all of it if you're not running. First, if you're not running a campaign with a bunch of volunteers, you're not running a campaign that's statewide. It's a lot. And I do think
yeah.
there's got to be a more intuitive, better way. I don't know though. I'm not an expert in any of it, but it feels
Mhm.
like there's got to be a better
There's got
way.
to be a better way.
And
And not to
it's
throw too
not
much shade,
intuitive.
but I will say the state Dems have been really good, but there's not a Democratic angel that comes down and is, "Let me show you how to do Vote Builder." You know what I mean?
No.
It's all just, "Oh, here's this resource guide that we made and good luck." So
Yeah,
I don't
there's
know.
some
I've been kind
videos
of
and
disappointed
stuff.
with that.
There's some videos and stuff, but yeah, I think that it's just that they're not catered. I think, like I said, each election kind of needs their own training. What a Kansas House person needs to do and learn is not necessarily what a Senate person or somebody that's statewide needs to do and learn. So I
Mm.
think that there is a little bit, they need to dumb down some of their education. I hate to say, I can't think of a better word because it's certainly above my head, some of it. You know what I'm
That's fine
saying?
by me. Yes, please dumb it
Not to
down
say
for
that
me
we're
because
idiots,
it's too much.
but
Yeah.
yeah, they use a lot of lingo that you're supposed to just know.
And you can tell that every party, the politics itself, have gotten used to lawyers running and people who have been doing this for 15 years. And I am not that. You know what I mean? So they need to start making it more accessible for people who just
For
don't fit
everyday
their,
people. I'm
yeah,
working
who
on
just
it.
don't fit that.
I'm working on it. I'm working on doing some trainings and stuff for
Good.
candidates that just I need to do better looms. I did some looms, but they suck and I need to redo them so that they're actually
Well, I'd be happy to help
professional.
if you ever need some help.
But of how I pulled things for Caden and how I got the information out about the different precincts and was able to drill in to find the precinct that was the best to start with and all this other stuff for canvassing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what that political geographer does. And that really helped a lot.
Oh, political geographer. Oh, I'd love to
Smart
talk to
people here in
them.
Salina, I tell you.
Maybe you can send me their info. I'd love to fucking pick their brain. I'm gonna cut that
Oh
part out. I
man,
just
and
said
it is a
fucking.
brain to
See, I just
pick.
said
It is
fuck
one
for
of
no
my
reason.
favorite brains.
I didn't have political geographer. Sounds fun.
Yeah, you would be good at it.
I bet. I want to
You
talk to
would.
that person. Now I want to just look
Mhm.
up what a political geographer is.
And they have all kinds of different political geographers, actually.
Yeah,
Mm.
into that. I
It's
always hated
interesting.
geography, but if you add in
Yeah, I was like, I
politics to
didn't
it,
know that was like a part of it, like political geography. I like that. I could have messed with geography back then if that was the case.
why is every geography teacher always talk like the slowest person ever from like the guy from Bueller? Every geography teacher I've ever had talks so slow. And every geography
Oh,
class
it's
I
the
ever had
worst
in college
class.
was always at 8 a.m.
It's the worst class. And have you talked to Megan yet? She's cool.
Rico? No, I do
Yeah.
have her July. I know last names.
Oh yeah.
I know
Yeah.
last names and numbers usually, like football teams. Bachman, 69. I do have her on the schedule though. And so far it's the only one I've gotten both of the Democratic primary people on. So I'm pretty interested.
Oh really?
I love it when
Okay.
I can talk to everybody.
Yeah.
And I think it's July 6th. I'm pretty
Good.
sure. So
Yeah,
yeah,
good. It'll
but
be
yeah, just to kind of wrap up, I'll be posting these pretty quick because I know it's the primary. So the turnaround time on these are going to be much faster than the turnaround time on my previous videos. And then it goes to my Substack, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify podcast. And I think other podcast things pick it up. I don't know. Substack makes it real easy. You just upload it, the video, and then the audio goes out to the things. And it goes out to YouTube
really,
and YouTube
really.
everywhere. You're going to be everywhere.
Oh,
So
great.
knowing that,
I already am.
what's one final message that you want to give to voters before going into the primary?
One final message is, oh gosh, now I wasn't prepared for that question. I think that it would be your vote matters because people like me are running and it's time to show up if you want something to change. And win or lose, I'll be here making sure people have what they need. And so if you're in an area that needs something, I'm here for you.
Yeah, if you need food or need anything, you get a
Yeah,
hold of me.
anything. I don't care what it is. We put pressure on people that need pressure. We get resources when you need resources. If somebody's not helping you, I will be your girl.
All right. I love it. I love it. Good luck to you. And we'll see after the primary if
Yeah,
you win the
thanks.
primary, I definitely want to interview you again later before the general. And if you don't, then you no longer exist to me. No, I'm kidding.
Then you suck.
No, but then
No.
I know I'll keep seeing you continue to work in your
Yeah.
community and help as you have for the last 2 years. And
Yeah.
I,
I think it'll be an interesting primary. I think that a lot of people appreciate my no nonsense, straight to the punch. I don't really care who you are. If I have to call you out, I'm going to call you out. I think a lot of people appreciate that, but then I think some don't. And I think a lot of the Democratic Party is really set in the way of you've got to tiptoe that line and look that part and speak that part. And
use
so
the
I think it'll
script.
be, yeah, I think it'll be an interesting primary.
Yeah, yeah. You don't stick to the script. And I know I love
No.
that. And that's
Yeah.
why I was like,
So
do it, Ron. You don't stick to the script. Do
that's
it.
my girl. Yeah. And I think
Give
a
them
lot of people
hell.
appreciate that. Yeah.
I
I think,
appreciate
and
it.
I have gotten a lot of that. And even some Republicans that are like, man, if you were in my district, I'd be voting for you because I know that you'd call anybody out. So,
Fight for them. You're going
yeah.
to go to and fight for them, not yourself, not special interests, not PACs, not
Yeah. No.
corporations. You're going to fight for the people.
As a matter of fact, I'll fight to get all of that out.
Yeah. Good
So,
luck.
anyway,
And
thanks. I appreciate it, Helen. I appreciate
I'll
you.
be watching your TikToks. I'll tag you.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Good. I'll be
All right.
watching you.
All
Thanks for
right.
all you do.
Thank you.